How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Today we're talking about how Tesla is going to change their Cybertruck. So it just came out in a tweet from Elon Musk that they are going to unveil their new and improved Cybertruck in the next month or so. And the truck looks pretty slick so far. So you can see there, it doesn't have any side view mirrors, and that is something that actually is required here in the US. But you can see that it is pretty smooth. I mean, we've seen it before. We've seen the presentation where Elon Musk actually crashes the windows, and that is something that they said they're going to have to fix. But this is a very polarizing vehicle just by the looks of it, right? So a lot of people hate it, a lot of people love it, but they are talking about how they are actually going to change how it looks. So if we look here at what's happening, basically what happened was there's this Austin Tesla club that tweeted out, this is Giga Texas, and they show the plant that's being built there. If you scroll down here, they ask, okay, will it be an ass kicker too? He says, well, it's basically a tank from the future that's road legal. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. But you can see here that there is a tweet that is from an account that no longer exists, but if we go to a different article, we can actually see here it's from Whole Mars Catalog and said, Elon, can you show us a picture of these new changes? He says, sure, maybe in a month or so. So this is just Sunday. This is just a day ago that he was talking about changing how the Tesla looks. Now, why are they doing this? Well, you can see here that in the third quarter 2020 earnings call, he said that there are going to be a lot of small improvements compared to what was unveiled when they unveiled the Cybertruck. But you can see here, he said, with Tesla, we aim to make the car that is delivered better than the car that is unveiled. So it drove him crazy back in the past when car companies would unveil these awesome looking cars, like, great, can't wait until they make it, but then the car that they actually get or actually make is much worse. It's really disappointing. So that is something that I think is really interesting. That's something that I've always been annoyed with in the past when I see concept cars or cars that are coming out and then they are dulled down. Now, as we saw before, though, they do have that issue with the side view mirrors, but the question is, what else are they going to do? Because he wants to make it look awesome still. Well, I think they're going to keep the body of the truck pretty much the same. However, they are changing the width and the height a little bit. You can see here that in February, Musk outlined a couple of planned changes from decreasing the width from 84 inches down to 82, and that the upper laser blade lights are standard. He also showed that it would be about 79.8 inches wide, 75 inches tall, and about 231.7 inches long. So he is planning on making it a little bit shorter, but he said that it would pretty much be the same thing. He's just going to decrease it a little bit. So you can see here about the size that it stands. Another plan change that they said in May is that they're going to make a smaller tight world truck at some point. So they want to make it a little bit more compressed, a little bit smaller. That way, with markets like Europe, they can deal with the smaller roads, deal with not quite the space that we have here. Now, an interesting and pretty exciting part is that they're expecting to tweak the alloy used in the Cybertruck. So Musk had talked about in July that SpaceX is rapidly changing alloy constituents and forming methods as it develops its Mars-bound Starship. So this is pretty interesting. They are expecting Cybertruck to actually get some of these changes too. And the truck's angular design comes from the fact that it uses ultra-hard 30x steel that makes it shaping very difficult. So it should be very good for the Cybertruck just to be able to get on that cutting edge. I mean, like they said, they want to improve it. So if they can make some kind of alloy that is maybe a little bit better for trucks. I mean, they talked about how hard this steel is, which can be an issue in cars. I mean, they actually try to make cars able to bend so that way it takes some of the impact away. I mean, if you think about this Cybertruck, if it got hit by a train or something, it really wouldn't compress at all, and you would be taking all that force on the inside. Now, they do outline in this article that the truck is planning to start at about 40,000 with the upper version, with the highest grade version at about 70,000. They typically have some upgrades that are pretty expensive. I mean, whether it is the self-driving component, which can cost about $8,000, or whether it is some of the other upgrades that they have, there are some upgrades that can be pretty expensive, which will push this further, but it is a pretty pretty affordable car, especially compared to something like the Hummer that just was unveiled a few weeks ago. I actually did a video on that, but that is about $110,000 to start, which is very expensive as opposed to the Cybertruck. Now, we won't see exactly what's happening with the Cybertruck for a little while. I think that we'll see it in maybe a month or so, like Elon said. But if we just look at Tesla stock right now, we've seen some volatility, especially with the upcoming elections. We've seen it dip down pretty drastically when you consider we were up pretty high before. So we were up around $500 after the split happened in the stock. We're down about 20% now. We've seen under $400 a share, which is one of the first times, I believe, since the split. I mean, we can see here it dipped a little bit lower, but there have only been a couple times when it's been under 400. So we should see some increased volatility around the elections, around the end of the year, around stimulus, and around the pandemic numbers increasing. But it is interesting to see the changes to the Cybertruck, because I personally really like the Cybertruck, but if they change it too much, if they make it seem too similar to other cars, I think that they'll lose some of their fans that are going for this really out there look. Now, a lot of people don't like the look either, but I think that they're basically just going to try to improve it. They're not going to change drastically what it looks like. They'll make it a little bit more fit to the market, so that way they don't get in trouble with the law with the side view mirrors and with the height and width. I mean, it can be very difficult to fit these in a garage. I mean, if you look down here, they have a pretty hard time fitting this. And he's actually responded to that. He said that they could reduce the width by an inch and maybe reduce the length by about 6 inches, but they need to pretty much keep it the same way, just make it a little bit smaller. This should be interesting to see what happens going forward, but let me know your thoughts below. Let me know if you like the look of the Tesla Cybertruck. Let me know if you hate the look. I mean, I'm really curious. I really like it a lot, and I like the technology that's going to come with it, but if they can improve it, I'm all for it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate that. I mean, this is only my second video after going full-time on YouTube, so definitely follow the channel. Definitely subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I really appreciate that. It means a lot and makes the channel a lot better. Also, if you want some free stock, there are free stocks down in the description. So you can just sign up with WeBull, deposit $100 or more. They increase the timeline where you can get 3 free stocks worth up to $1,600 each for a couple more days. So definitely check that out. Also, if you guys don't mind hitting that like button, I really appreciate that. Let me know if you like this format where I am just talking over the videos instead of showing my face and going back and forth between that. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video.